Okay, so now we are currently recording. Um, Guys, I just wanted to kind of go over a little bit of the information in the class. First thing, we're going to start with the introduction. Just make sure you've seen everything. The announcements is something that you'll see in every module, especially starting in spring, and it's going to be something that follows from module to module. Me specifically, I use the batch email. So anything after feedback, anything about announcements, things that I think is going to be important to y'all. I'll always use the email, but eventually I will start using the announcements. So just if this is not your last semester, this is something that you'll have to start getting used to. Um, Make sure and read the welcome, virtual office hours. This is something all of us instructors add. We set specific times apart. This will be updated within a week or two. We're fixing to start sharing instead of through our WebEx link, so we're going to start sharing it through Google Hangouts. That way, so y'all can specifically just push the link and it will automatically call our phones. So that way there's no need to text. So that's just an FYI. Info about me, important course documents. Make sure you've read everything about all of that. Um, Something new that we've added today is our Learning Resource Center, which comes from our library. And there's so many resources now and like thousands and thousands of databases and documents and stuff that they've provided for any type of, because you will in some of my classes, and especially in the advanced classes where you have to do a little bit of research or have to do, APA and want to cite documents to get a better understanding, and this is a great resource. So if anybody wants to, check that out and see, we're trying to provide as many resources as we can to you guys, and all of this stays in the introduction module. So if you think there's something that, oh, you think I've seen this, we'll always refer back to the introduction module because that's where all this is going to stay. Um, Additional information, general tips just about the class. Another new thing, free apps, free helpful apps. There's so many like cool apps that you can download now on your phones that will help you with your time management, with your scheduling, with changing verbiage to text or text to verbiage. There's just so many cool things, so go check that out. And then most of the rest of this is all in the syllabi. And I'm hoping that y'all read that because that was part of one of the agreements. Um, so in every module, I'm going to go back to module one, the one we're in now. Um, my welcome day. Okay, welcome day. Everybody's done this in this class, I think. Every semester, you'll see a syllabus agreement, handbook agreement, and then a check-in activity. That's going to be in every class. First module, we hit the ground running in this module. I know there's some of you that do not have your books, and so we understand this, and we hit two chapters this module, and I will say every single module is going to have everything what the module's about, what you're going to learn, and then what you're going to do. So if you want to print this off, like you can copy paste it into a Word document and check it off as you do it, especially the what you will do area. Um, this is something I found very helpful for me whenever I did both my associates and bachelors. And instead of having to re-review it or read over it again or touch your eyes to it again, just mark it off as you do it so you know you don't have to do it again. Um, and it's a good way to keep track. Something new that I'm going to try to implement this semester and for sure next semester, I'm going to add an actual calendar into each of my courses. And the calendar is going to have every due date and every single thing, so that way there's a calendar and it can be attached to your actual phone. Currently, what I do is I have a due dates checklist, which you'll find in the introduction module, and that way you can just go and check off stuff as you do it. But for now, that's a good way, or if you want to use your own calendars and anything like that. And in this course also, we are doing MindTap. MindTap is an online platform that is related to this textbook through Cengage that I utilize. And the thing I love about MindTap is we're going to get in there and you'll get to do like mini tests and actual learning labs. The learning labs are going to be able to put you in a real life scenario as if you were in the doctor's office, and you'll see that in every single module. Um, Modules 1 through 6 are going to be very busy because that's when we're utilizing the textbook, the workbook, and MindTap. After Module 6, I think starting in Module 7, it'll be nothing but MindTap and the textbook. We will not no longer use the workbook. Um, and then for those of you that do not have your book yet, here's the course link. I think it's two weeks free access until you do actually put your code in. So if you do not have that yet, then just you should still be able to use my course key and the course link and be able to get in. Without that, every module you'll see the read and view. This is something new that was new to y'all probably last semester, but every module you're going to see a introduction and then what the module's about, like I've already talked about. The read and view. This is going to be all the resources, and these are not mandatory, but we stress for y'all to associate with these resources because they will help utilize and enhance your understanding. Um, and something new we've started utilizing from a new online course is just like little like tips that you can go in and read something. It's going to relate to the subject matter, but it's going to allow to enhance your understanding. And then you're also going to see practice and applies in some of the modules too. I don't have one in this module, but the practice and apply are things that are not for grades, but they're going to allow you to try to just test your knowledge. And it's unlimited attempts. It's just to get you to make sure you understand the material. Engage with others is always going to be your question boards or discussion boards. And see, here's the practice and apply that I was talking about. It's hidden from y'all, but this is where you're going to see in certain modules where there's going to be those little activities where you can go in and utilize. Demonstrate your competence. This is where you're actually going to demonstrate everything that this is the stuff that's going to be for a grade, okay? Um, and then in this module, I know I have y'all doing, I think, and I'll log into MindTap in just a second, and just kind of go over that and kind of show y'all what it looks like for my version. It's not going to look the same to y'all, but you'll at least be able to see kind of what it looks like. And then once that's done, then we'll be able to ask questions. Okay, and see, like I said, there's going to be a MindTap and an assignment from the workbook every single module up until I think module 6 is what it is, and then assessments. Okay, so let me see if I can go to MindTap. Okay, so here we are on MindTap. So it's broken down into 12 modules in MindTap. And so like with module 1, we have chapter 1, chapter 2. Every single thing in here is set up. And I think once we get to like modules 3 and 4, and possibly even through 7 through 12, which is whenever we start beginning the claim submissions, there's going to be things and everything, like I tell y'all, is in the do folder. But just make sure and check on all of these because everything that I say, like you can see where it counts toward grade. And I know, again, let's go back to those that you don't have the book. I will extend this for some of y'all, but the MindTap is something you can get in now. So, but without having your books, you're not able to read the chapter. But the good thing about MindTap is, see, you have the full book and like the ebook, introduction, everything. So there's no reason why you cannot get the MindTap done in this first week. As far as the workbook and the actual reading of the textbook, I understand that. But there's no reason why you can't go in and do the chapter review and the learning lab. Again, I mentioned learning labs. They're awesome. They get you in like a real world scenario. And then in certain chapters, let me see if I can find one. You will find in some chapters where in the read, there's actual activities within the reading portion. So just make sure you go through all those folders each chapter. And some people like ebooks, some people like paperback. The reason why we do the bundle is because it's more beneficial to some students. I'm one of those personally. I like the paperback. I don't like the ebook. But the ebook is provided here, but the workbook is not. And they do not have a bundle for the workbook and then MindTap alone.
So are these chapters the same chapter? Is in the book?
Yes, absolutely. Everything. This is an outsourced online platform that's going to match up every semester to the modules that you're doing. So, like module one, see, we're doing health insurance specialist career, and then introduction to health insurance. So, whenever you log into MindTap, you're just going to go in. You're going to take the chapter review. And then a lot of the stuff I have it set. I think the chapter reviews are set for one time, especially whenever we're working out of the workbook, because the workbooks are they're easy, and then once they get tougher, I allow y'all more than one attempt because I want y'all to learn it, especially when we get to the claim submissions. There's unlimited attempts, so y'all are going to be able to, let me see if I can close this out. It's being slow all of a sudden. Okay, and so like I'll show you an example, Rena. Like when we get to module 7, when we actually start claim submissions, and why is it being so slow? Okay, do. So you'll have like you'll actually start doing a claim submission and then learning labs. And then when we get to specific insurance, like we'll start with commercial and then you'll see every module, like you have all these claims to do. But those
Uh,
are all unlimited. And then anytime you get it wrong, like the first attempt, and the information's straight out of the text. I mean, and even some of the scenarios, they're cross-mapped, and sometimes some of them, like the 1.2, might be different than what the case is in the book, but it's the exact same scenario and patient. So, but it allows you, and it tells you what you got wrong, so that way you can learn from it. So
and
there's no, yeah, I mean, so
it
these
tells.
are easy peasy. If y'all don't make 100 on these ones, that's when I'm like, they just want to get through it because it
So
gives you the answer once you attempt it, and then you can go back and attempt it again, just so that way you're learning it to do it right.
so at the end, once you're done with all of it, then it gives you all the mistakes, the corrections of the
Yes,
mistakes.
yes, ma'am. Everything that you got wrong, and then you can go back in and do it again, and that way, because it teaches you, and then you have to like, well, why does it want that instead of this? And then you're like, oh, and then so it'll help you. Yes, absolutely. And then because especially with claim submissions, because right now, like one of the biggest deals in facilities right now is denials management. And because there's so many
Yeah.
denials, and when you're working with so many different insurances, say your Medicare, Medicaid, TRICARE, all of that will take a claim submitted this way, but your commercial insurances won't. And then they say most commercial insurances, like your United Healthcare, Blue Cross, whatever they all might be, they follow, usually all of them follow Medicare standards, but not all of them.
Right.
They can be picky, and it depends on because they're going to want to deny what they can because they're greedy. They want to keep their money at the same time. So it's a whole big ball in itself. And if I could just do claims management or denials, that would be one thing that if I was back in the field would be to do that. And
Are we gonna touch on the veterans claim?
oh yes, we're gonna do which is TRICARE is gonna be module 12. So we're do TRICARE and workers comp. And then Medicaid, Medicare, Blue Cross, which is a breed of its own. Um, why is nothing in Module 9? Okay, Blue Cross, and then commercial. Because everything, Blue Cross, because it was one of the very first ones, is considered its own branch, even though it's a commercial insurance. But all your other insurances are going to fall under commercial. Because when anybody thinks of commercial insurance, what do you think of? Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and that's gonna fall. Everything VA and stuff is gonna fall under TRICARE, which is gonna be all your oh, what is it? You have there's like 4 different branches, and then but that'll all be in the chapter. And then so when we do this, and then once you get into the Sereno, see how many claims we're doing this one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then the learning labs, like the learning labs are so fun. Like I just want to show y'all, show y'all an example real fast. If it'll let me in. It's being slow. So start assignment. And just remember, guys, like when y'all are going through this, just reach out to me because there's I've had some students that stumped me And then also, whenever we utilize these outsourced online resources, even though it's a part of my textbook, um, anytime that there's technical difficulties and stuff, TSTC Help Desk nor me can do anything about it. So just remember, and their I provided their help desk that way, so you can contact them, and they should be able to get in and tell you anything that's wrong. So see, here's like all the scenarios. Like we're going through so the different types of TRICARE support representatives, really in the around blah blah blah. Okay, we're gonna beneficiary services representative. The steel is like right in my way.
Next button.
It's not. It's because I've already done 1 through 12. Okay, let me go to one I haven't done yet. I want to show you all from the beginning what it looks like. Okay, I don't think I've ever done. Let's see, Medicare. I don't know if I've ever done that one yet. See, there's a lot more claims for Medicare. But yeah, y'all get in there. I mean, it's easy if you'll just follow it, and it's step for step in the book. The book tells y'all everything. And come on. My internet's being slow, Raina.
You know, that happens. I don't know if it's the weather or what, because it happens to me sometimes.
Yeah, and I think just like with us, which usually during the day, because it's the first of the semester, so of course every instructor, every single person's online, and in here, but I don't know why it's doing that. And well, I was wanting to show y'all, but okay, click the next button to start.
There it is.
And see, I've already done half of all of these. I'm not gonna be able to find one.
So you can go back.
But I know it's gonna be slow.
So how about it says to the beginning?
They should, yes. I mean, that would make everything. I like going through them because I also get a refresher on it because it's been so long since I've been in a facility. So
yeah,
I'll go through the first beginning of them, and plus I don't want to sound like a bozo when y'all ask me a question. And I love learning. Like I read all articles. Like half the time I'm at home, I'm constantly.
Well, and I was reading too that I can't remember which one, where it refers you to the publications for some of the coding. Oh, CPT.
Yeah, CPT.
Yeah, and it'll refer you to the magazine, whether it was a Record or AHIMA or for more information on that code.
And then I put some resources on there for y'all because codes are constantly changing, especially when y'all get to use the encoder. Another thing about this class, Module 13 is going to hurt, okay? It's not going to hurt, but it's going to be, I consider it my course project, but I don't grade it as a course project because it is complicated. But it's to get y'all critically thinking, and that's where you're going to pull out some of the knowledge of like the medical necessity or diagnoses or codes that are missing, and y'all actually get into an encoder. And one of the things I love about the encoder is because you get to see your NCCI edits. You get to see the reason why two codes can't be built together. You get to see how the MSDRG and the APC applies to the code, and that's what triggers the payment for the facility. And it's really cool. Just ask me questions in that module.
Okay.
Okay. And it
because I was reading about that. I was reading that. I'm like, man, there's a lot of checks and balances to make sure that CPT code is right.
Yes, and the medical necessity.
I'm thinking to myself, when I go on that externship, it's going to take me over an hour to do one code.
Well, no, and then but you'll learn to realize like anything, okay? And then CMS offers a beautiful system which is called your LCD and NCD, which is your local common determination and then your national common determination. And then you can put in a code and see what diagnosis the patient has to have in order for Medicare to cover that or procedure code.
Mhm.
And if that procedure code is not covered, then most likely the insurance is not going to cover it. So, and that's where it came about of all the prior authorization and stuff like that. Your
Right.
insurance, your commercial insurances are more hardcore on the prior authorizations than anybody. Because like a Medicare patient come in, get an MRI, well, if they don't have, say they have a headache, but you get an MRI, well, that headache's not going to cover it. They're going to have blurred vision, tingling of the skin, loss of, loss of sensation. There's going to have to be certain LCD and NCDs that map to that code. So there's all kind of shortcut keys that can prevent from losing money at a facility. But okay, so this is what it looks like. This is my Medicaid. So you'll come in and it tells you, and then you're going to start automatically in the office visit. It's amazing. I love these. And then it just talks about it. But you'll like them. This gives you, like, everybody enjoys the EHR Goes and the VLAB stuff because it's actually getting you an actual EHR IT systems.
Okay.
But this gives you from sitting behind the desk perspective. Like what you would do if you were in the scenario when it came to claims and billing and making sure that you're meeting all the qualifications on that end.
Okay.
So I hope y'all like this part. It's fun. I like it. Like I said, I've gone through it, and there's some of my other classes I don't go through none of the stuff. Especially if I know a little bit about it or I know it, then I don't. But this, even though I know it, I still like these learning labs. They're amazing. They're fun, and I just like to keep touch base on everything as well.
Okay.
So, anyways, do you have any question, mamas?
No, not yet. I haven't gotten into this one. I've been doing the other one.
Okay. Well, get in there and do this one because you have two. It ends Sunday, and like I said, the medical. If you already have your book, there's two. There's one assignment out of the workbook, and then let's see. Let's look at this module. What do we have?
You're on it.
Yep. Okay, we have. This is just stuff to read. So we do have a workbook assignment. So it's just 2.1, 2.3. And this calculating, this is just getting y'all to the very tip of what it's like doing, get y'all into healthcare statistics and then calculating reimbursement. So this is going to get y'all in looking at insurance card. So you're taking what the copay, what is actually paid, and then if a person does have insurance, if they don't, and sometimes I find students have questions on this part. So. And then you'll be building a 3D pie chart, which is it's simple as pie. I've created a video for y'all. Y'all are just putting in the information and creating a pie chart of 3 different insurances,
Okay.
and then just to showcase it in a digital image instead of verbally.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, I start this one tomorrow.
Okay. And like I said, I'll be here till 5, both tomorrow and Friday. And then, of course, you have my cell phone number, my text, everything. And I'm real familiar with this, so even if I'm, out and about doing whatever, I can still answer any of your questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, yeah, just let me know. And I am going to stop recording now.